Watch and burn.
Hey everyone. So tonight I wanted to talk about what I consider to be, first off, a real step up in his songwriting as well as production, but also kind of a one-off. And that is, I'm going to talk about, Mortiis' The Smell of Rain. This was released back in 2000 or 2001 through Earache. God, Earache kicks ass. But anyways, what a departure for them too. But anyways, yeah, so Mortiis releasing The Smell of Rain, it kind of came out of nowhere because prior to this, he did more of like a sort of a synthesizer, soul synthesizer driven Lord of the Rings thing where there were absolutely no vocals. And whereas I really appreciated everything he had done prior, and by the time this record came out, I figured that he was going to keep doing what he'd been doing thus far forever. And there was never going to be anything wrong with that because Mortiis is a talented guy. But then out of nowhere, he releases Parasite God. And when I first saw the track, before I heard it, you know, I made assumptions, like as I'm sure everyone else who likes his earlier stuff did. But then it was like this really pop, sensible, industrial track of like lyrical catchiness that I just didn't see coming from him. And then he releases the record, The Smell of Rain. And there isn't a bad song on here. Parasite God's on here, Spirit in a Vacuum, You Put a Hex on Me, Everyone Leaves, Marshland, Smell the Witch. This record was sort of like Mortiis' attempt at conquering the pop charts, if only it was 1984 instead of 2001, when the Backstreet Boys pretty much had a stranglehold on pop music. Because I feel like had this been released some 20 or so years earlier, he really could have done something in the pop world with this, because this record is fun and it is catchy, it's well written, it's big, it sounds thick and rich, it's incredibly well produced, it's mixing a whole pile of different types of music into one album, and it's done so incredibly well. You'd think he'd been doing this forever, and this wasn't just going to be his first outing into this new type of music making, which it was. And from this point forward, I'm kind of disappointed with what he's done because I think, in my opinion, he ran too hard and too fast into like industrial metal and making everything that much more stronger sounding, harder sounding. And whereas it works for him and everything, it just didn't work for me because I love this record so much and everything he's done since hasn't really sounded like this. And I wish that he had just done one more record, a follow-up, even now, that sounds like the music on here, because this record is perfect. But the problem is, a lot like, this has sort of become like pretty much everything by System of a Down. I can't really listen to the songs on here anymore, because I've listened to them so much that they've kind of lost all meaning. The only song on here that I can't really get sick of is Marshland. Everything else I've over-listened to, and I can only put this record on maybe once a year. And even then, it's in a fleeting sense because I just know it so well and I've heard it so much that the volume's been turned down somewhat. And that sucks. And had he just released a few more albums like this, I wouldn't be in this boat, because then I would have been able to take a break from this and move on to his other stuff that sounded like this but didn't sound like this. But that didn't happen, and that's okay. I mean, this record is amazing. If you get a chance, be sure to check it out. I'm sure you can still find it somewhere. It's Mortiis' The Smell of Rain. I'm going to go. So thank you so much for sitting with me while I discussed Mortiis' The Smell of Rain, released in 2001 by Earache Records. And don't forget, if you like this video, to do something awesome for someone, because they're awesome and you're awesome. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button, because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.